I know you've heard Arlington, Virginia is exclusive, it's expensive, and it's elite. And with an average sales price of around $840,000, who could argue with you? But I'm about to show you there's a side of Arlington that nobody talks about. I'm talking about hidden costs that actually work in your favor, neighborhoods with surprising price ranges, and one area that was actually just named the best neighborhood in all of the United States. The best neighborhood in the nation is right here in Arlington, Virginia. Full disclosure, my name is Chris Colgan. I've been a realtor here in Northern Virginia for 20 years now. Although that may sound like it comes with an inherent bias, the truth is my job is to help you buy and find the right home for you and trying to convince you that this is a place that would serve that purpose. And that's why today you're going to get the unfiltered truth about living here in Arlington, Virginia, all the good, all the bad, so you can decide is it worth your money. And I promise by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which neighborhoods can be right for you, what daily life is like here in Arlington, and what to do about that premium home price tag. All right, so let's talk about what everyone wants to know. Arlington's house market in 2025. Yes, it's expensive and competitive, but the numbers might surprise you, especially when you see the dramatic difference in prices for each neighborhood. Let's talk about the housing market overview, right? So let's get some stats out of the way. The median list price for houses for sale in Arlington is $839,154 as of May 2025, according to Zillow. That makes for a 1.7% price increase over the previous month. Average assessed value for all residential properties in Arlington is $854,900, and single-family homes briefly surpassed $1.4 million earlier in 2025 as an average sales price, and the current inventory is there are 622 homes for sale as of May 2025. So we got to talk about neighborhood price variations, right? Best of all, this is a variety in the price for the different neighborhoods, which reaches a lot lower than most people think. I mean, according to Realtor.com in Buckingham, the median price was around $342,765 in March. That's $500,000 below the city's average. Here in Arlington, it's $663,000 in Clarendon, also lower than the city's median price. And so only Colonial Village brings that value up with a median price of $1,704,790 according to Zillow.com. And that's just three of many we'll be talking about more when I get into the neighborhoods here in Arlington. We'll talk a little bit more about market dynamics, right? From an insider's perspective, I can tell you all that this means. Well-priced properties in desirable neighborhoods always receive multiple offers quickly. I mean, I've written on properties in Arlington, depending on where they are and the condition, that will have like 24 to 25 offers. It's insane, especially if they're like newer with a ton of upgrades, things like that. Inventory has increased from previous months, but still remains very competitive. And there are affordable housing resources available from the county for qualified residents, but there must be a way to justify the price, right? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be answering with this video. And even if we still have to cover the real cost of living here, the first step to do is we'll break down each neighborhood and what they have to offer. So one of the best things about living in Arlington is how it consistently ranks as one of the best places to live in America. I'm kind of laughing because it's always ranked like one of the most healthiest places in America. I think it's actually number one, which is funny. You're looking at me, you don't think I'm the most healthiest person, right? But you definitely walk around, you see people walking, jogging all the time. Everyone pretty much walks to work. Holding the number 4 spot in 2025 niche ranking. And as I mentioned earlier, the best neighborhood to live right in America is here in Arlington. And we'll be talking about that next. But let's talk about Arlington's national recognition. That community is Colonial Village, ranked as the best neighborhood in the country. It's a historic, highly walkable, and centrally located community. It's known for a unique architectural heritage and strong community feel. That neighborhood is absolutely beautiful. And like I said, number one place by niche.com, which is all user-based, to live in all of the United States. They have a lot of, United States. I think I'm thinking way too far ahead with all this space stuff recently. And then we got some urban-focused neighborhoods, less on the village side and providing a more open feel. There's also Clarendon with a vibrant restaurant scene, walkable, young professional hub. Clarendon's really cool, right? You can walk around. You've got places like the Clarendon Ballroom, but you can walk around. There's kids walking around. When I say kids, young 20 professionals walking to work, getting to Starbucks, getting a coffee, going to a local coffee shop, going to a local restaurant. And then at night, they might go to a Nationals game and then come back and go to the club. There's all kinds of different things because you've got the Metro, Uber, and a lot of people in Arlington don't actually own a car. Ballston is innovative, dense with amenities, shopping, entertainment options, and a great mix of commercial and residential. Then you've got Pentagon City. It's a great shopping destination with metro accessibility. And then of course you've got the amazing building Amazon HQ2, which is bringing a lot of jobs to Virginia in general. There's so many people working in Arlington, and obviously Arlington with return to office, Amazon HQ2 has brought a lot of people back into the office. Oh, and speaking of transportation, Arlington itself is in a pretty unique position when it comes to accessibility. I'm gonna tell you all about that. There's some more quieter residential neighborhoods for sure in Arlington. If you prefer more quiet areas, Arlington also has you covered for sure. Colonial Village has a family-friendly atmosphere, historic homes, and tree-lined streets, while Arlington Heights is known for quieter setting and more spacious properties. Arlington is also the leader as what is known as 15-minute neighborhoods. That means communities plan with essentials like grocery stores, dining, parks, clubs, restaurants, and transit that is all accessible or short walking distance within 15 minutes of where you live. A lot of people in Arlington genuinely do not own a car. That's really not for me. I love having my car, being able to go, but all my friends and family that live in Arlington, they don't own a car. It's definitely crazy to me, but they can walk pretty much everywhere. It's actually a saved expense for them. And there's also always ongoing infrastructure improvements, including bike lanes and pedestrian-friendly streets, helping keeping that concept alive, which I really like. And then, of course, we got to talk about what is known as community planning. The idea of these is to create mixed-use developments with convenient access to shopping and services like numerous parks, trails, recreational facilities, and then there's always like strong neighborhood associations advocating for the community. So it's pretty funny when you drive around Arlington, you'll see all these signs like save this park or save this street. The community there is really involved and active, and everyone that lives there is very passionate about Arlington. And that's not even Arlington's biggest selling point. There's the convenient proximity to DC, sure, but that wouldn't be worth much if the city makes it impossible to get around. So let's talk about that. And remember, if you want more videos like this, I am your expert on all things Northern Virginia. Definitely hit that subscribe button. I also offer an amazing newsletter called Real Nova Network, where I drop all kinds of breaking news. Follow my Instagram at Chris Colgan Team. We get over 12 to 14 million viewers a week. I talk about all things Northern Virginia. If you're thinking about buying a home here, email me info@colganteam.com. That's info@colganteam.com. Let's talk a little bit more about transportation here in Arlington. All right, so we got to talk about public transit access, which I think is key to living here in Arlington. As far as public transportation goes, the options are really diverse. To start, there's multiple metro stations on orange, blue, and silver lines. There's current transportation plan updates focusing on multi-modal transit and climate resiliency, and the county is continuously investing in sustainable transportation infrastructure. But even beyond transportation advantages, location itself is another one. Proximity to Washington D.C. allows for shorter commutes. The strategic location near major highways and bridges makes for faster access, and there are multiple causeways in and out of the city. I talk about walkability and alternative transportation. This is definitely a walkable community. Everyone pretty much walks around. Everywhere you go, you see tons of people walking around. We were filming there one day, and people were coming up to us left and right saying they loved our content, which I really liked. And by the way, that I told you yet to hit that subscribe button, you better hit it for me. And if you don't work outside of Arlington proper, you can probably get away without a car altogether. Like I was saying earlier, infrastructure is like highly walkable and bike friendly. That's protected by bike lanes throughout many neighborhoods and pedestrian friendly streets that are getting ongoing improvements all the time. There's a lot on future focused planning as well. Now you're probably wondering what all these investments and developments I mentioned are really about. Here's the gist of it all. The county is actively updating their transportation plan to address future needs. There are investments in micro-mobility options with a focus on creating more sustainable and efficient transit systems. So if commutes and transportation are a genuine concern of yours, it's safe to say Arlington has got you covered, but that doesn't mean it meets every standard for quality of life. I mean, if there's nothing to do. So let's talk about quality of life and amenities. This is part of where we talk about all the amenities and trade-offs of living in a more suburban area as opposed to an urban one, right? Like in Northern Virginia, you can definitely get very suburban, or you can get a lot more urban in Arlington and Alexandria. Just keep in mind, schools are getting completely separate section in this video. So what does fun look like here in Arlington? Living out here and like where I live in part of Northern Virginia, if we want to like go to a club or a big music show, you definitely have to go into Arlington or like Clarendon with some of the clubs like Don Tito's and place like that. If that's kind of your niche and you like walking around, Arlington would definitely be for you. That's not really my scene as I'm aging a little bit, but I will tell you there's so much to do in Arlington. First, you've got parks and recreation. Fortunately, Amy Poehler wasn't available to record this section, but you will be happy to know there are numerous parks, trails, and recreational facilities throughout the county. There's an active lifestyle supported by outdoor infrastructure and a regular community events and activities. There's all kinds of dining and entertainment. When it comes to dining and entertainment, there's a vibrant restaurant and nightlife scene, particularly in urban corridors. There's mixed-use development with convenient shopping and services. And even if local attractions aren't enough, there's always easy access into Washington D.C. I mean, think about it. I was there one time in Arlington. I was at Pentagon City Apartments Independence over there, and I went with a friend. We went and saw Hamilton at the Kennedy Center. We were there and back from into the Kennedy Center in 10 minutes. I mean, that's absolutely phenomenal, right? You get into Uber, you can be at the Kennedy Center in 10 minutes, and of course, you've got the National Mall, all of that within like a 15-minute Uber drive. The location is absolutely phenomenal. Then you've got urban planning excellence. These developments we mentioned earlier are also a big way the city helps you keep busy with constant balance in construction and green space preservation. But for families, another crucial factor is education. All that is great, but bad schools can completely remove that as an option. So let's take a look at the schools for a second before we overview the real cost of living in this place. So I'm going to keep it simple. Arlington Public Schools is ranked number 2 in the whole state of Virginia for 2025. That means the city has a reputation as one of the best places to teach in the state with constant high performance across education metrics, period. Listen to some of these performance metrics. To put it into perspective, here are some numbers. There's a 95% graduation rate across Arlington County schools. I mean, that's absolutely phenomenal. The average SAT score is 1270. That's a lot better than I did in high school, that's for sure. And there's strong academic achievement across all grade levels. Pretty crazy stat about Arlington is 78% of the residents over 25 have a bachelor's degree, and 43% of residents have a graduate degree, which is actually one of the highest in all of the United States. That's an insane stat that I didn't even know. A smart guy like me didn't even know that. You can tell I don't have a bachelor's degree. They definitely do strong investment in educational infrastructure, multiple specialized programs, and educational pathways, focus on college and career preparation all the time. The bottom line is, though, although you should always do your own research when it comes to what schools best suit your children, and I always recommend visiting each school for sure first. Arlington in general has invested in strong educational infrastructure with multiple specialized programs and a focus on college and career preparation. But the bottom line for your decision on whether Arlington is really worth the cost, let's take a look at the real cost of living here in Arlington. So there's no way getting around this, people. Yes, Arlington is expensive. The numbers don't lie. What I'm going to try and do is put the numbers into perspective for you to see the area's value proposition, and this looks good for you. First of all, it's 33 to 36% higher than the Virginia average, and it's 35 to 37% above the national average. Housing itself costs 107% higher than the US average, which is really up there. I'm going to break down the costs for you. I know this looks like intimidating, so let's take a look at those numbers are coming from. Utilities are 6 to 8% lower than the national average, which is actually a surprising benefit. Groceries are 12% higher than the national average. Healthcare is 14 to 6% higher than the national average. Transportation 2 to 6% higher, and then goods and services are 8% higher than the national average. Again, I know that sounds like a lot, so here are some considerations to definitely keep in mind. Property taxes are very favorable compared to similar high values in other areas. There's also that convenience factor, reducing transportation costs for many residents because of proximities to areas like Washington D.C. When you're so close to D.C., it's going to be a lot cheaper to live here in Arlington than it would be in D.C. The price almost guarantees quality of life, amenities, schools, and infrastructure, and there are county resources available for more affordable housing options. They're doing some really cool things with Amazon, and they're building a lot of affordable housing options. That's something that you can definitely look into with the county. What a lot of our buyers do, especially here on YouTube. Let me give you some of my closing thoughts on Arlington, right? So basically, living in Arlington means accessing top-tier schools, excellent public amenities, a vibrant, walkable community, and an incredibly convenient location. There's a wide variety of neighborhoods and lifestyles in each, all that would come with a premium price tag for sure. Now you're gonna have to decide to tell me, how does that sound to you? All right, if you like Arlington and you think this would be the perfect place to live, or anywhere in the Northern Virginia area, me and my team have helped literally thousands of home buyers just like you from this YouTube channel, from our Instagram. Email me anytime. It'll be me personally, info@colganteam.com. Like I said, me and my team can jump on a Zoom for you, and we are already on your case, helping you find the best neighborhood, the best home, and the best life for you. However, if you're still not sure about Arlington, the best way to decide to see some other options or compare. I've literally done videos on pretty much everywhere in Northern Virginia. We're gonna keep pumping them out every week. We can also help you with that. I can show you areas that might be more convenient if you want a little bit more space, a little bit more land, and you're cool driving 30 to 45 minutes in Arlington. Another cool thing too, right, just to consider, one of the things that Amazon really considered when they moved here to Arlington was this location to National Airport. So you've also got that, and that's super convenient. But there's another exclusive suburb that's racking up sales right here in the Northern Virginia area. I'm actually going to link that below. Definitely check out that video, and guys, you better hit that subscribe button.